INEC continues results collation despite protests in Abuja and other states across Nigeria, even as party stalwarts react to announce results. This is still Ballot 2023, and my name is Nyamguru Agaji. The Independent National Electoral Commission INEC commenced the last stage of the collation and announcement of the results of the presidential election since Sunday. This year's general election is the 7th since the restoration of democracy in the country. The previous elections were held in 1999, 2003, 2007, 2011, 2015, and 2019 respectively. This one is described as the most keenly contested poll in Nigeria's contemporary political history, and the ballot had 18 registered political parties to be voted for. Let's take a look at the announced results in each state. Well, those were most of the results already announced by the Independent National Electoral Commission. We remember that proceedings just halted before the program at the INEC Collation Center in Abuja to resume in 2 hours' time, that is at 9 p.m. And we do hope that we are going to be there, all of us are going to be there to monitor what is happening. Also, the Independent National Electoral Commission has shrugged off demands by various stakeholders, including political parties, to pause the ongoing collation and declaration of the results of Saturday's presidential and National Assembly elections over allegations of electoral manipulation and compromise. The People's Democratic Party and Labour Party at the National Collation Center in Abuja earlier protested the failure of the Commission to ask its officials to upload the results on the INEC portal from the polling units. They complained about widespread discrepancies in the results of the poll and asked the Electoral Commission to halt the proceedings at the Collation Center and address their complaints. Let's see reactions by party stalwarts on the announced results so far.
Where do you start from? Is it the results that have been manipulated that you can correct? So the best thing to be done is for us to repeat the process. After all, if you send your child to school and the child fails, he repeats the class. So INEC should repeat the class since they have failed their exams, because this is a major test from INEC. And we had expected that the process would be done in line with the electoral process. And so since they have failed, it is incorrectable, and therefore the process should be repeated.
If you look at the results from Bauchi and Gombe, they are exactly the same results. Bauchi APC has 146,977. Gombe, two different states. APC have also 146,977. PDP in Bauchi has 319,123. PDP in Gombe has 319,123. Labour Party has 26,000 in Bauchi they have 26,160. In Gombe they also have 26,160.
After the election under the very law that we all applauded. So the right thing to do is for the INEC chairman to truly go forward and cancel the elections. Unfortunately, he has not come out to tell the world what has happened, why the results were not uploaded. There is a question mark there. He should be truthful. As I said, section 26, he had taken an oath to be neutral and impartial. Therefore, he must speak to Nigerians and tell Nigerians the truth. And the truth is, they could not upload the results. What happened in INEC? Why was it that they could not upload the results? So something is wrong. Something is wrong inside INEC. Either they have connived or their system is down. But they must tell us the truth. If the system was down and they knew it was down, they ought to have postponed the elections.
Governments have fallen in Africa because of the price of bread went up. The entire Arab world 11, 12 years ago went up in crisis because a young man burned himself in broad daylight. Anybody waiting to hear call to arms from ourselves will never hear it. We're peaceful people. He will never hear. Anybody who wishes to change what we are saying, what I am saying, is welcome to try it. I will never call for violence. I will continue to say that democracy belongs to the people who can practice it. Good governance belongs to the people who can demand it. Dividends of democracy belong to those who can take it. It is left for Nigerians to do these things I mentioned.
They never acted in deepening and sustaining this democracy. It is easy for them to want to scuttle it. But those of us who were part and parcel of the democratic struggle, we knew what we went through. Our principal went through the crucibles, harassment, oppression, suppression, and the whole works to get this democracy in place. So we are prepared to nurture it. And the result in Lagos is also an eloquent testimony to the fairness of this process. If anything, any lesson is to be drawn from the Lagos results today, it is that when Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is eventually declared by the umpire INEC as the legitimately elected president of this country, nobody should complain about the process, because the process has been demonstrably fair and just, as exemplified by the results in Lagos, which we are not even contesting now.
In Lagos also, aggrieved residents in various polling units have challenged results being called out by INEC. And joining us live tonight to air their opinion is Ihe Ibeji, a communication analyst, and Dr. Adefolaseye Adebayo, a secretary and mobilization officer in Lagos State. Good evening and welcome, gentlemen.
Good evening, good evening, viewers. Thank you so much for having me this evening. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah.
He's a mobilizing officer for the Lagos State Presidential Campaign Council.
Okay, Lagos State Presidential Campaign Council. Of which party?
Of the Labour Party.
Of the Labour Party. Good. So we have a legal practitioner, Justice Uhuegbu, also joining us to discuss the chances of each candidate according to the results being announced. Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Okay, let me start with the Presidential Campaign Council mobilization officer in Lagos State for the Labour Party. We do know that Labour Party had some concerns, especially here in Lagos, yesterday when the results were being read out, and there were some complaints coming from your party. What were specifically these complaints, and how do you intend to address them?
Okay, I'll first of all say that I was also the polling agent of my polling unit at Surulere in Chief Beriola / Adisabashwa polling unit. Now, apart from the complaints from my center, my polling unit, the general complaints were after voting, the viewers could not upload the results. Some complaints from other polling unit centers where the INEC officials did not even know the passwords to upload. Some other complaints from some other centers where ballot boxes were snatched. Some other complaints where they did not start on time. Some other complaints where even the INEC officials themselves did not even know these passwords, or some were even clueless on what to do. So these were just some of the complaints.
Oh, okay. Let me go to you, Mr. Ihechukwu Ibeji. Today, what is the reigning thing, as we would like to say here in Nigeria? What's the reigning thing is that we're looking for who has 25% and all that. And just like Dr. Adebayo has just outlined, there are very many problems that came up, especially as complained by the Labour Party and some other parties. But nobody seems to be talking about this, especially INEC, which has said that whatever problems there might be, they should be addressed in court. Everybody should go to court and do that. So today we are only talking about the 25%, and nothing seems to be said about the complaints that have come from the field. What does that tell you? What is your take on what is happening right now, that nobody's talking, especially INEC, it's not talking about complaints, but just talking about who will likely be the winner after the count?
I think that it tells me that they don't. There seems to be I don't know. Will it be a concerted or will it be a strategic move to defocus from the actual issues? Because the actual issues will then lead to what has actually gone wrong so far in terms of from the field point of view. Because, just as the doctor initially stated, we on the field, if you recall, I was live on that particular Saturday, and some of those issues were very, very prevalent. And as expected, those issues were issues that the umpire had initially brought to the fore to reassure Nigerians time and time and time again, even before the election period came into force. If you recall, I mean, this is an umpire that only goes ahead to organize this kind of elections once in 4 years. So the belief is that, I mean, there's been a budget has been placed and been put on ground, and preparations have been made. So when the beavers came up and the electronic transmission of results from the fields came up, it gave a lot of assurance to both the electorate and the political parties that this was going to be a different kind of elections. And so it's a kind of a shocker that the umpire is more instinct. They're more focused on getting done with the announcement of the results than to tackle the actual issues of the fact that the process was not followed. For instance, when we finished at the field in terms of voting, and this is something that's been expressed by several parties. I mean, I experienced this live. The collation officers could definitely not have any inkling of how to upload the thing on Beavers. Now they couldn't even get the link, and we had to even go with them at some point to the collation centers. And when they eventually did succeed to upload, so to speak, in front of us, it was an offline upload, so to speak. And today, when you go back to the IREF, you would not see that same result on the IREF. And these are some of the issues that are critical, some of the issues that they need to put in place. Even if eventually there's going to be, so to speak, some kind of repeat, you still need to look at these issues very, very critically, because these issues are the foundation of whatever problems that are currently being complained about by the various political parties and the electorate out there. So it's important. It seems like a deviation for you not to look at the issues on ground and instead focus on just talking about just releasing the result. Except of course the umpire is saying that at the end of announcing the results, then they begin to look at the issues. But that's, like, for me, is, so to speak, putting the cart after the horse. But I mean, that is what really appears, and it's really quite numbing from my point of view.
Okay, Dr. Adebayo, let me just come back to you. You've made these complaints. From yesterday, Labour Party began to complain. Even from Saturday, Labour Party and some other parties, I'm talking about Labour because it is you that is here right now, and INEC doesn't seem to pay any attention to it. What do you think will be the next step for Labour Party as regards the addressing of these problems that you have put forward, these complaints that you have put forward that are being allegedly ignored by INEC? What will be the next step?
Okay, there was a little bit break in transmission. So if I believe I heard you correctly, what you're trying to say is that with all these complaints and INEC not responding, what is the stand of Labour Party, or what are we doing about it?
Correct.
I believe that's
correct.
What you're trying to say. Now, first of all, it's like you found a thief in your house. And you found the thief kept taking things from your house. And you asked the person that gave you the house that I found a thief in my house. And he said, please let the thief continue stealing. Now, don't worry, we'll not get to the gates. Before he gets to the gates, let us just continue to do other things and do as if the thief is not existing. By the time you decide to do something, the thief has stolen, has caused so much damage, then you now say we should start doing damage control. What I know is that prevention is better than cure. From the beginning, more or less, I would say we are deceived, or we are meant to believe that the beavers was meant, they said the beavers was a game changer, that there will be no snatching of ballots. And I remember in one interview with Rufai was asking them, he was saying, I hope there will be no such things as network issue. I hope there will be no such things that, that will delay the transmission. They spent God knows how many billion to set this thing up. Was it not test run? Was there no practice? Was there no practice? Now, the challenges were so enormous, and because for the first time so many people came out, because for the first time there were so many first-time voters that believed in this process, and they believed that this will be the game changer. And only for INEC to change his own side of the story. The story is that the chairman said that once you are the polling unit, make sure your votes are uploaded and at the center at your polling unit. And when this is done, it should show that the results have been uploaded. And if there is nothing behind it, why are they not uploading? In my own polling unit, it was glaring. I was the polling. We are three polling agents. One from the PDP, one from the Labour Party, which is myself, and one from the APC. And the results, I will say it. Let me even say it, this opportunity. In my polling unit, APC was 56, LP 169, NMPP 1, PDP 2, ZLP 5, YPP 1, and 9 votes were avoided. And we signed. And once we signed, and it was time to upload, in fact, initially, the story was, oh, it cannot be uploaded. He did not know what to do. And when the pressure was so much, you can imagine people have been left their houses from 7 a.m. As at 8 p.m., we were struggling whether we are going to, whether this vote will be uploaded. And policemen came. They were trying to pressure us to leave the place. And we have heard so many things that at the collation centers, that people are being harassed, people are being bullied, people are being intimidated, some people that they were shot in the air. So we are so determined that we should, our votes should be uploaded. Only at the end of the day, thanks to some of the IT persons at our center who followed us there, and they were able to understand what many of the things that was needed for it to be uploaded. And when we had to go there, we had to go with police because we did not want a situation where we will be harassed. And at the end of the day, when it was uploaded, it was even uploaded offline. And we asked what's the meaning of offline upload. What we are given that whenever this problem at the server is solved, then it will be uploaded. I want to put it to the INEC chairman. What he's doing is not right. It is immoral. It is against the normal ethics values for human life, for normal sanctity of this nation. Because first of all, if you tell us this, then don't change the goalpost. You will change it. You will say 4 legs good today, 2 animals with 2 legs are good. Then tomorrow it is the animals that have 4 legs. This is inappropriate. You cannot say we should wait to the end of an illegal process. And you know how courts are in Nigeria. It's more like you are in one chance. Because there are so many things that have gone in the past and nobody trusts the system anymore. What stops them from uploading? If there is nothing wrong, if there's no undertone or there's no clandestine thing, why has my polling unit since Saturday not been uploaded even from this offline to the online so that people will see it? And it is what you see, you can query. Okay. And so many of these issues in which agents are being intimidated, people signing false EC8A forms, and meanwhile, this is being projected to Nigerians. And other people have been shouting, we cannot continue this process. For me, I think this process should stop. If it means let us wait till this thing is rectified, let us wait.
Okay.
But as it is right now, there's a lot of disenfranchisement in different places. People have not been voted. People have not even voted. Some that are voted, you don't even know where the results are going. So a lot of people are really traumatized. Okay. People came out from diaspora. They came to vote. People that believe they want Nigeria to change, that Nigeria should be a better country. Many people came out. The youth came out. The elderly came out to make things good. And yet this is what we are getting. It is unacceptable.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's go now to Justice Ihegbu. You are a legal practitioner. I'm sure you have seen the Electoral Act and seen all the conditions for declaring someone a winner, the conditions for the voting process, the conditions for declaring or cancelling votes in a particular area, and so many other things. But most importantly, the powers of INEC to do and undo, as it were. Okay, so will you say what INEC is doing? Because INEC has said that whoever has a problem should take it to the courts. Is it because INEC does not have the power to prosecute or to hold people who have done wrong accountable? Or it's just something that is new to the electoral law and to all the promises that we were given before now? Tell us about the powers of INEC, and if what it is doing right now is the proper thing to do, to let everything just go, no matter the discrepancies that have been found, until the process is over. Please enlighten us on that, Justice. Justice Iheogbu, can you hear us? Please unmute yourself because we can't hear you. Okay. Until Justice is able to join us, let me return to Ihe Ibeji. Ihe, you were there. I just asked Justice a question now. I don't know if you have an answer to that. Because INEC was supposed to have the power to stop the collation if need be, to cancel election where necessary, and to answer the questions that Nigerians are asking. Unfortunately, INEC is saying that whatever question, whatever problem that anybody has should be addressed in court, should be taken to court. Why do you think this is being done? Is it that they don't have the powers to do what we are asking them to do?
Okay, at some point in time it froze, but I think I got a bit of what you're saying. You're trying to say that you're trying to find out that you're trying to ask, I mean, the position of INEC of not taking a particular action at this point, even before continuing vote counting, if it is a position that maybe legally should be right. Now, while I may not be a lawyer or have the legal knowledge, so to speak, I could just decipher from the speech of the INEC chairman yesterday, when the parties protested vehemently and requested that the voting, the counting, the collation of results and announcement of results should stop. That power, he has that power. I recall that in his response, he says that power is left at his discretion to utilize, and that I think that he said something about waiting to the end of the entire process before beginning to tackle the issues that have allegedly been put on ground by the various political parties. I think that is a position that he has taken.
But should it be a position that he has taken or the position that the law has given? Because if we have an electoral law that gives him the powers to stop the collation, for instance, if that's what is asked of him, or to cancel an election in a particular place where there are problems, then why is he having to make Nigerians wait till the end of the exercise? What if someone is declared a winner and then you begin to start litigation at that point? Of what benefit will it be?
While I may have my own, I may have my opinion if I were to be on that seat, so to speak, I want to believe that the INEC chairman may be looking at all the different other pictures. And why I'm towing this line is because while we're bemused and aggrieved with respect to how the system has gone, there is also that other part of us that speaks to the unity and calmness after the whole process. And I want to believe that that is the line he's towing, because it would be much easier to say that the INEC chairman could have just stopped the entire collation and announcement of the results and then take further action to go ahead to, of course, we do the process. But there's some questions that you also need to ask before he can do that. For instance, there are some questions that were put to him by the other political parties on ground. Questions about showing the public, showing those of them at the Collation Center that the BVAS works by reflecting on the screens there if there was actually any results that were uploaded. Now that is a proof that if it is shown and is shown wrongly, it causes another problem on its own, if you understand what I mean. So yes, he has the powers to actually exercise the discretion of saying, I will stop this based on this, which is what some people expected him to do. But that on its own part also can cause another different kind of uproar. I want to also believe that when he means at the end of the process, he is talking about tackling all the issues that have been raised even before the parties can then begin to go into litigation. Then, if that is what he means, if that is what it allegedly means, then that is also another discretion of his powers. The law probably has given him the powers to go ahead to stop collation and tackle the issues, which is one way to look at it. But I think that what he is doing right now is an exercise of the discretion of those powers, which a lot of Nigerians may not like, but which is the line that he's currently towing right now. It is actually not it's actually a very sad thing. It's actually not a very good thing that we're at this point, because a lot of people, a lot of Nigerians, me inclusive, went into this process with a lot of hope. We went into this process that this is one process that, we're going to cast our votes and our votes will actually count. It is now a burden of proof. It is now a great responsibility on the INEC chairman and the entire umpire system to ensure that those votes count either way. And that's exactly what all Nigerians are looking up to, now that he has exercised the discretion of his powers to go ahead and conclude the collation to the end of the collation.
Oh, okay. Dr. Adebayo, I know I did ask you this, what the position of Labour Party was, and you told me that your position was that the right thing should be done. But I guess you didn't get to the part where you will tell us what if it continues like this and what you perceive as the right thing is still not done till the end of this counting. What do you think, or what step will the Labour Party likely take to make sure these issues are addressed?
All right. First of all, I want to say that the decision of Labour Party is already out in the open. Our MD spoke about. We've also heard what the Labour Party spokesperson talked. We've also even heard what our wonderful and past president Olusegun Obasanjo has even said in an open letter to our president Muhammad Buhari. And also, we have also listened to what the DG Akin Oshitokun has talked about. Also, the Lagos DG Chief Shupo has already told every one of us to be calm. We should not go the violent route. Our deputy presidential candidate, Datitu, has said the same thing. We are not violent people. We are known for law and order. We are not violent. We will allow the law take its course. Aisha Yusufu, which is also a spokesperson, has also said the same thing. We don't have to go into the streets because they may want to lure the obedient to the streets. We will follow the rule of law, taking our evidences and gathering our evidences for this fight. Every fight does not have to end on the streets with shedding of blood. We will not take that route, no matter the provocations, the meetings of Labour Party with the other parties today was urging the president of Nigeria, President Muhammad Buhari, to toe the line of leaving a good legacy for himself and doing the right thing, which is what is best for the people. So for the part of Labour Party, we will not be violent. We will not go to the streets. We will not partake of any protest that causes violence. We will We will not be involved in anything that will cause destruction of life and property. We will go the route of the legal process, and by the grace of God, justice will take its course. However, we are still appealing to the chairman to do what is right, leave a good legacy for his name. Let this process that he has said is a game changer, let it be what it is, because any wrong step will send a bad signal to the young people of Nigeria that for the first time, many people have come out to vote. They believe in the process, and that's why they are encouraged, so that they will not go back and be discouraged that nothing works in Nigeria. The whole world is watching. Kenya did it successfully. Nigeria, that is supposed to be the giant of Africa, we should not do any other thing different. The international observers have noted that the elections are flawed, and they have also encouraged INEC to do what is right. So we are employing INEC that they should do what is right. Let results be uploaded, results that are not, and they should prove it by letting us see it, just like the other speakers have said. And our supporters, we will not, our obedience we will not be violent, and we will take the rule of law, gathering our evidences, and we will move forward. And by the grace of God, we shall have the justice we believe is ours. Thank you.
We'll take a short break, and when we return, we'll continue this conversation. Remember, it's still Ballot 2023 here on Plus TV Africa. We're hoping that when we come back, we'll address this, and we also hope that Justice here will be joining us also. Stay with us. It's still Ballot 2023. We did tell you that proceedings at the Collation Center, the National Collation Center for INEC, were just put on hold till 9 p.m. tonight, and we're hoping that you are going to join us well and see what is happening there. Now we're trying to look at the issues that have come up during the collation of these results, how some people have some parties have complained, even individuals have complained that a lot of things that are supposed to be are not there, and the ones that are there are not supposed to be there. For instance, if you go to the INEC portal, we've seen reports, we've seen videos of people who are trying to access it. We've seen result sheets from other states being put in states other than the ones that the result sheets are coming from. Let me just give an example. I'm not saying that is what happened here, but let's say a result sheet from Zamfara appears where you are, when you click a Do state, for instance. So things like that have happened. And then we've also seen where someone was trying to access results from Ekiti State, and what he saw was the face of maybe the ad hoc staff, maybe the youth corps member or any other INEC official, but it was a woman's face instead of a result sheet, and I don't know how a woman's face will now show us the result of that Ado Ekiti, according to the video that we saw. Then we've seen also, according to that report we played earlier on, where the chairman of PDP, Yochayu, was saying the results from one state and those of another state were exactly the same for all the parties. And we were wondering what kind of coincidence that could be. And if that is true, why all these things are happening. But in the face of all this, I do not know if we can survive a protest in the magnitude of the NSAS, for instance. So what everybody is talking about now is no matter what, no matter the anger you might be facing, like the Labour Party chieftain said, there are ways that these things can be addressed. But let's hear from the horse's mouth themselves. We have a communication analyst here with us, Ihe Ibeji. Would like to hear your voice, would like to hear you talk to the people of Nigeria, especially the youths, how you think this thing should be taken. And after that, we also come to Dr. Adebayo to also readdress the people of especially Labour Party and the rest of Nigerians, how we should follow up this matter. Because this is our country, whether we like it or not. We need to be here peacefully and resolve whatever issues that we might have. So let me start with you, Ihe Ibeji. Tell us what, in your own words, should be the way to go.
Thank you very, very much. Thank you so much for this. At a time like this, Nigerians must first take in retrospect of the NSAS issue and the way it nosedived and the way it ended. That NSAS campaign, which started in an altruistic manner, eventually did not end in that way. It ended with the destruction of lives and properties. At this critical time of our lives, at this critical time of Nigeria's existence, even as much as Nigerians, youths, men, women who filed out to vote and ensure that they defended their votes, maybe agree or are aggrieved at the outcome of the current ongoing coalition, I would like to ask that Nigerians must keep the peace and follow the process through and ensure that we abide by the law of the land. I believe that the law of the land will definitely, certainly, will come to fruition and bring law and justice for this particular case. Because going into any further kind of protest that could eventually turn violent, especially with the way tension and the way the entire place is so tensed up, will not just be the best for us at this point in time. We must see how we follow the Constitution through and ensure that we follow the law to the matter so that we will continue to.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you, Ihe Ibeji, for your comments to the people. Dr. Adebayo, I know that Labour Party, whether we like it or not, has been the game changer in this election because nobody expected Labour Party to, at least the big ones, the big names in the political space did not expect Labour Party to get to where they are right now. And so they enjoy a lot of let me not use sympathy, but there are a lot of people who want to identify with them for one reason or the other. So it is critical what you say to the people as a Labour Party chieftain, especially to the people who have christened themselves obedience. Please, a final word to the people. Dr. Adebayo, can you hear me? Please unmute yourself and please just say something to the people.
Okay. All right. I will first of all want to thank all the obedience. Your name, obedience, is really working for you. We are obedient citizens of Nigeria. I know many people did not expect to see that we will be the game-changing party. But we knew we did our hard work. We worked for it. Obedience, I know you work for what you have got. And I know that there is so much pain right now in the land because of the level of disenfranchisement and what is going on. The world is waiting for Nigeria. Obedience, we cannot afford to degenerate into anarchy. We cannot afford to go into the streets. We cannot protest and cause any more loss of life than we have already had. We have had people that have lost their lives, some people that have been amputated, some people traumatized, injured. We do not want any more of this. Obedience, let your name be what it stands for. We know in Labour Party, we are not troublemakers. We are not violent people. We express ourselves. I want to appeal to all obedience. Please do not go violent. Just know that we need to gather our evidences and it will be used at the appropriate time. Our leaders have told us that we should be calm. Just make sure we have your results, your EC8A, the original copies, kept so that at the right time it will be used. Then, we also want to appreciate all our international observers too. And we are assuring them that the obedience will not go into the way of anarchy. And also, we also want to appeal to our president.
All right, thank you.
You said you want to leave a legacy, leave this good legacy. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Adebayo. Well, you've heard from them, from Ihe Ibeji, Communication Analyst, and Dr. Adefolaseye Adebayo, Secretary and Mobilization Officer of the Presidential Campaign Council of the Labour Party here in Lagos. Thank you so much for your words of advice and everything you have said today.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having us.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, that'll be all for now. Remember that at 9 o'clock we'll rejoin the INEC Collation Center to see what is happening. Even if we do not join, be sure to be a part of it anyhow that you can, maybe online, offline. But the thing is, why I'm saying this is that nobody should ever tell you any results from anywhere if you do not hear it from INEC themselves. So we'll do our best to join and then bring you that information. But be sure that you get the authentic information and do not declare anybody a winner until INEC says so. That's how it's been on the show today. Tomorrow we will continue wherever we've stopped today. My name is Nyamgul Aggaji. Have a lovely night.